Hi. So I was trying to figure out how to set up my new, what is it, YouTuber cam with the ring light and the phone and everything, and I couldn't figure it out. And I just wanted to jump on and do this quick vlog. I am not at my house. I'm house sitting right now. About kind of a precursor to the blog that I will be writing tomorrow entitled X Fundy on the Easter weekend. Just some of the insights and some of the things I did this weekend that stood out to me in kind of 12 years after I left the fundy church and the fundy world, and how it was different, how things were different. In a long story short, they were a lot more peaceful than it was in past years when I was a fundy, when I was going to church and having to whip myself up into kind of a frenzy of the emotion of it all, whether that be, trying to appear kind of tragic and sad and on Good Friday and take all that in, like, he died for us, oh wow, and all our sins, oh, and like the drama of that. And then 2 days later to not feel that, like, just having to, kind of whip yourself into that frenzy emotionally back and forth into the performance of it all, because it definitely was a performance that the church was putting on. And so then in the years after I left, right after, kind of coming to grips with the performance and the fakeness of it all. And I'm not there now. So I'll be writing about what I did this weekend and what I learned. So you can look forward to that on my blog, The Thriving Artist, artistthriving.blogspot.com. But right now I wanted to talk a little bit about my name, because I legally changed it some years back, and I am in the process, I'm going to be in the process very soon of kind of updating my name to represent fully who I am. So I was born with the name of Julia, and I always heard that last part, Leah, when someone would say my name. I never heard the full part. I always heard Leah. So I adopted that and took on Leah as my actual name and dropped the first part. Julia means youthful one, but Leah means bearer of good news. It's also languid, relaxed. And I get the sense of like rest. I can rest in myself. And that bearer of good news also goes along with kind of my vision of helping others to find their thrive within themselves. It doesn't necessarily mean star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame or the Oscars or, whatever. That is a part of it, or can be part of it, but it's deeper than that. It's a sense of peace. And I like that languid, relaxed, to be at rest, and to be a bearer of good news is the meaning of Leah. And there's also a sense of wisdom. And then Elizabeth is the name that will be adding, and I'm going by Leah Elizabeth as my first name now. My two first names, Leah Elizabeth. When I was a little girl, I would watch this TV show Night Court. If you've been watching my vlogs or reading my my posts or my journaling through the years vlogs, you've probably heard a little bit about this, but I loved the TV show Night Court, one of which the main important reason was because the main character was played by Harry Anderson. And I used to, in my childhood self, want him, I thought he was like the ideal father of what I knew of him as that character. And I find it interesting that in these years where I'm finally embracing my, trauma past, going back to childhood, that I am kind of rediscovering this part of me that has lived in my head and in my heart and my soul, that I thought that if I was his real daughter, that my name would be Elizabeth. So kind of along with every phase of my life, I've had this other part of me named Elizabeth kind of living alongside, almost like an alternate universe or something. I don't know. So I'm embracing that and kind of fully embodying a part of me that has always been a part of me, but has been secret and held back by claiming Elizabeth. So you can call me Leah, or you can call me Leah Elizabeth. Elizabeth means, when I looked it up, and what I took from that meaning was abundance, royalty, promise, assurance, trust, comfort, stability. And then Rose is still my middle name, and I've always had sort of a spiritual connection to Rose all my life, in every variation, whether I was a Christian or not. I always just felt really kind of drawn to the rose. I always liked how each of the different colors, whether it's the yellow for friendship or red for romance, for, you know, all of that, white for divine love, that there was a different meaning based on the colors for, you know, of the definition of the roses. And so I was always drawn to that. The different facets of love, the different facets of the rose had different meanings. And for me, I can embrace all depending on the circumstance. I also really like this, that the rose meaning is miraculous love at work in the world. And then lastly, I looked up Dougal. Now, first of all, I got the name Dougal because from an old family name, we never really knew much about them. It was always kind of a secret scandal. But I need to clearly define, I don't think I have the right spelling, so I might have to, I'm going to go and research the exact right spelling of that, and then decide if I want to change that to make sure it's the specific name. I have yet to do that. I'm taking care of a lot of other things, financially and in other ways, on my plate right now, so I'm not too worried about this, but I want it to be clear why I am choosing these names and what it means to me. So if you look at all across, Leah Elizabeth Rose means bearer of good news, bringing abundance, promise, assurance, trust, comfort, stability, and the miraculous love that at work in the world. That's beautiful to me. And I really like that on its own, Leah Rose is bearer of good news, miraculous love at work in the world. Bearer of good news, that is the miraculous love at work in the world. But for me personally, I as an empath have this, I can give out without taking care of myself. So sticking Elizabeth in the middle between those two really holds significance, because that's that assurance, that promise, that trust, that comfort, and that stability, which I lacked all through my life. And I was craving when I was looking at Night Court and looking at Harry and then saying my name would be Elizabeth. And what it means to me is that sense of stability, comfort, assurance, promise, abundance. So that's all. If you have any questions or anything, comment down below. If you know anything about the name of Dougal, like the spelling of it, there's so many different ones, and I need to go into my family ancestry and find out exactly what my ancestors' version of it was. So thank you very much. Have a good night.